Nama saya Asrul Alimina. Saya jaksa fungsional pada Badan Diklat Kejaksaan Agung Republik Indonesia. Dan pada penyelenggaraan ini saya adalah penyelenggara Diklat kerjasama dengan UNODC yang diadakan sejak tanggal 23 Juni sampai dengan 27 Juni 2023 yang bertempat di Batam.
So today you are going to observe the Batam and Indonesian customs undertake a vessel boarding at sea. There is belief that there is further drugs on board this vessel. So their task has been to board the vessel, conduct an investigation and hopefully identify more drugs.
Bagian yang paling berkesan dalam kegiatan ini tentu saja terkait dengan melihat langsung bagaimana tindakan dari teman-teman Bakamla untuk naik ke kapal dan menangani barang bukti, dalam hal ini adalah narkoba.
Seperti yang kita ketahui bersama, Indonesia merupakan negara maritim dengan luas wilayah laut yang begitu besar. Oleh karena itu, sebagai seorang jaksa, kita perlu meningkatkan kapasitas untuk menangani tindak pidana kemaritiman ini secara profesional dan baik.
During the mock trial exercise, there are 8 steps that were conducted by both prosecutor and judges. The first step is indictment reading by the prosecutor. The indictment is a letter or deed containing the formulation of the criminal act as charged against the defendant, which was concluded from the results of the transcripts of investigation linked to the formulation of the article of the criminal act that was violated and charged against the defendant. It was this indictment that became the basis of judges' examination at court hearings. The second step is notes of objections by the defense counsel against the indictments. On the public prosecutor's indictment, the defendant that is represented by legal counsel has the right to submit an objections or response to the indictment as stipulated in Article 156, Paragraph 1 of the Criminal Procedural Code. Objections are filed after the indictment has been read by the prosecutor, and these objections are submitted in writing before the trial examines the merit of the case. If the objection is submitted outside this stage, the judge will not consider it. The third step is response to the note of objection or exceptions of the defendant's legal counsel by the prosecutor. After the objection was read out by the legal counsel, the Chamber of Judges gave the prosecutor the opportunity to exercise his rights and response to objection raised by the legal counsel. In this case, the prosecutor may take one of the following positions. First, accept and justify the objection of legal counsel. 2. Omitting the right to response but leave it to the Chamber of Judges to decide. 3. Formally reject the objection and will submit a response in writing by asking the assembly time to compile the response, which will be read out in the next sessions. And then 4. Formally refuse and submit responses along with reasons. The fourth step is interlocutory decisions by the judge. An interlocutory decision is a decision that has not yet addressed the merit of the case as contained in an indictment. In this case, it relates to an occasion when the defendant or legal counsel submits an objection that the court does not have the authority to try his case, or the indictment cannot be admissible or the indictment must be dropped. The fifth step is evidenciation by the prosecutor. To prove whether the defendant is guilty or not in a criminal case, the Criminal Procedure Code in Indonesia applies the negative system of evidence. In the evidentiary system, there is a dominant element in the forms of at least two pieces of evidence, while the judge's belief element is only a complementary element. So, to determine whether a person who is being charged is guilty or not, his guilt must be proven by at least two types of evidence, as stated in Article 183 of the Criminal Procedure Code. The sixth step is prosecution or charge by the prosecutor. The prosecution document, or known as the requisitor, is based on Article 182, Paragraph 1, letter C of the Criminal Procedure Code. The charge contains the proof of the indictment based on the evidence revealed at the trial and the conclusion of the prosecutor regarding the guilt of the defendant in the criminal charges. The charge must be made thoroughly, clearly, and completely. Step 7 is notes of defendants by the defendant or legal counsel. After the prosecutor has finished reading his charge, the defendants and or his legal counsel are then given the right to submit a defense note, the legal basis for which is regulated in Article 182 of the Criminal Procedure Code. The defense aims to obtain a judge's decision which acquits the defendant from all charges or release the defendants from all lawsuits, or at least the lightest possible criminal sentence. Steps number 8 is judgment by the Chamber of Judges. After the examination of the case is declared complete by the judge will issue the judgments which will provide a settlement to a case that has occurred.